Legend of Total War here, and it's more videos. There's more videos, but this one shouldn't be any like actual drama. So I just want to firstly say thank you all so much for your support in terms of the previous video that I made. It's been really heartwarming to see how much you guys support me. I've had nowhere really to turn to in over the past few days, and knowing that I can actually turn to you guys for support when I do need to is it brings puts a lot of faith in you guys basically. Now, talking about Reddit, so the Reddit post that I was directing people to, obviously to have your own opinion, and you guys, as far as I could tell, you were behaving yourself. I read a lot of the comments in here. Um, and I don't necessarily agree with the post being locked, but I can kind of understand why. This is, I guess, this is something that's starting to blow up a fair bit, and I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's something. And to be honest, something is better than nothing. And what's been going on for so long is nothing. I'm just sitting here in a void, just not doing anything. Anyway, that's not really necessarily the point of this video. I just wanted to just before I really get started, just thank you guys for essentially standing up for me, and of course behaving yourself. There's one or two comments in there that could have been a bit nicer, but whatever. Don't worry about these guys that don't like me. That's just Reddit. You get that kind of stuff. Anyway, now funnily enough, what am I doing on this video? Okay. There needs to be a change to my channel. Now, there was some good that came out of all of this Reddit, personal bashing. I don't care that I have people that don't like me. That's not important to me. However, I did read a lot of what they were saying, and whilst I would say that a lot of them have either have massively exaggerated the extent of which they think I'm a Nazi or anything like that, there is a little bit of truth behind what they're saying in terms of if he's doing these kinds of offensive, non-advertiser friendly campaigns, why would CA want to associate with him? And that's actually a good point. I never really stopped to think about how those kind of campaigns would affect my relationship with CA. And whilst they never explicitly told me that they were a problem, I somewhat have a feeling that they didn't even know they existed. And it's quite possible that maybe they're a little bit more aware of it now. But anyway, so I've had a bit of a long think of it. I've said multiple times that I sometimes regret doing those campaigns because, I might find, being ultra offensive funny. Maybe you guys might find it ultra offensive to be funny, but it's not professional. And it's difficult for me to make the argument that I'm professional when I handle early access, when I have, joke campaigns, really spoofy, stupid campaigns, What people don't understand, though, is that there's usually a long period of time between Total War content releases, and whilst it's, when something comes out, good to cover it for a little while, but then there's a big gap, and during that gap, I get very bored. And what happens when I get bored? I start doing stupid stuff, because that's the only way to entertain myself, really. I've done every campaign just about in terms of Total War. I know these games very well. So I do these stupid campaigns like the Apache campaign, or the Mayan campaign, or the Kyrgyzstan campaign, where it's just me trying something new, even at my own better judgment. And it was actually thanks to the criticism in this Reddit forum that I've come to a realization that that they're kind of right in a way. I can't be doing that kind of stuff if I want to be professional. I got to ask myself one question: what's more important, being professional or being an edgelord? Okay, I have to maintain a reputation. Like, I can swear. Swearing's not a big deal. But if I've got, stuff that, even if wrongly accused, can be used against me to say that I'm alt-right or Nazi or neo-Nazi or a fascist or any of this kind of shit, which isn't true and should be self-evident to 99.9% of the population. However, what tends to happen these days is that if a small minority of people accuse you of something outlandish, the default position is just to believe those people. And whilst I don't want to apologize for making those videos in the past, I will state right now that I'm not going to do any of those campaigns again. You'll notice that the Stellaris campaign has been deleted from my channel. I do not want to. I made a mistake. I'm just going to own that I made a mistake with that campaign. I shouldn't have done it. It was offensive. And, you know, I've been in the past, I don't really care about being offensive. The whole point of that campaign was to pick a faction and create it in such a way that made them super weak, and also max out the difficulty, because I wanted to basically just lose. Not purposely lose, but I was expecting to get ruffle stomped right at the start, which didn't happen, and, you know, I end up with, you know, a campaign that's pretty offensive that's actually going to drag on for a little while. And so even though I finished recording the entire campaign series, I think it's inappropriate, and I really should, and I have deleted it. I know that some of you guys were enjoying it. In addition to that, and I can really just use this as a single justification for removing it, but the views were terrible. The views were god awful. It's probably actually one of the worst campaign series in terms of views I've ever released in recent years. Now, I don't know if it's just Stellaris or it's mere fact that people do not want to click on something called the Empire of Re. But I want to... here's the thing. I do watch Sargon of Akkad, and I do watch these, you know, these anti-SJW things, and to an extent that really does appeal to me, because I do feel like the social justice movement is going too far. There's far too much left-wing identity politics going on. I do feel that. However, I shouldn't take my how I feel personally into these games. It has identity politics, Kekistan, all of this stuff has no real place in Total War, especially since it just, like, the community is pretty good. Like, overall, even the worst comments that are like, this guy is a cunt, he's a neo-Nazist, you get that in every community. But for the most part, we have a really good Total War community, and you guys are amazing. You guys have just been the best over the past few days. And it just, as much as some of you guys might actually, you know, find that stuff funny, we do not need to edgelord out, really. And nobody else is edgelording or shitposting, really, in the Total War community. Everyone just goes on and plays the game, and they mind their own business, and they just do their own thing. And I seem to be the only one that's constantly causing these problems. And so I need to take ownership of that and stop doing it. So like I said, I'm going to stop with those edgelord campaigns. I've deleted the Stellaris campaign. Now, as for prior campaigns, which that kind of stuff, there are a few things to address. So there's the Apache campaign, there's the Mayan campaign, and, well, let's address those two first. So those two campaigns in their entirety will be unlisted on YouTube from here on out. Now, that means that it will be difficult for people to find it, especially if they're not already subscribed to my channel. But they still technically exist. So if you personally really enjoyed those campaigns on its entertainment value, personally, you can still watch it, okay? But you won't be able to, like, organically find it. The search engine will not show it up, okay? And this will both spare me from the embarrassment of being, like, caught out, because at any point in time, Creative Assembly could have been like, we don't want to associate you because of this Apache campaign. But to their credit, they never did. Now, that could just mean that they never knew about it, but I don't know. You know what? I kind of don't want to take this chance anymore. If I'm going to criticize a CA employee for being unprofessional towards me, then I have to take ownership of times that I've been unprofessional. And this is the biggest time. I've been I have done stupid things in my downtime between, important campaigns that add nothing to the community. And so I'm going to, like I said, as much as a few of you may enjoy it, I'm not going to take them down. I'm not going to delete them because they'll serve a permanent reminder of things that I shouldn't do. I don't like deleting my videos. Remove them from the general public's eye. I'm going to disassociate myself with it. I'm going to try to endeavor to not do Nazi jokes. And I know, like, I had this conversation with a few people on Twitch that are like, don't kowtow towards them. You're just giving it up on free speech. And you know what? Maybe I am, because it's hurting me at this stage. As I've said, my channel has never been more damaged than it is right now, and having a liability like that linger around as an Achilles heel on my channel is not what I want. And the fact is, as I read people's comments here, people think I'm a neo-Nazi, and whilst they are wrong about feeling that, I give them the ammunition to discredit me by having, a fuck you campaign that literally has some of the most vile comments that I could ever possibly say on them. And so even though there is a disclaimer on there saying it's merely intended to be offensive for offensive sake, it's got to come down, because I literally cannot afford another hit like this. If I get demonetized from YouTube or whatever like that, it's the end of things for me. And so whilst things are really volatile, I need to protect myself, and I need to behave myself as well. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to become family friendly. I don't need to do that, okay? But all I'm doing is try to disassociate myself with... I've never been called a Nazi before, and seeing so many people being like, he's a literal Nazi, he's a fascist, he's a Nazi, I'm just like, wow, I didn't realize people thought that way. I thought people just thought I was Legend of Total Auto Resolve. Like, if people want to dislike me based on the way I play the game, that's so easy for me to deal with. But if people want to actually make false accusations against me that are really, really damaging, I can't fight two battles at once. I'm just gonna stop this battle because it's not worth anything to me. The best way I can do is support comedy through the people that are making that fight. Like Sargon of Akkad and those kind of people who I do enjoy watching, and I recommend, if you like anti-PC culture, definitely check out Sargon of Akkad. And I still remain anti-PC, anti-politically correct. I will not become politically correct, but at the same time, I don't need to take it such to the extreme that I go out of my way to hurt other people's feelings. Okay, if I accidentally hurt someone's feeling, well, that's just too bad. Okay, but I'm not going to go out of my way to hurt people's feelings from this point forward. It's unnecessary. It's unprofessional, and people should expect better from me. I've got 80,000 subscribers now. This isn't a hobby. This is a business. I'm 31 years old. It's time to mature a little bit. I'm not going to, apologize and grovel at their feet saying, "Oh, I wish I never did this," or anything like that. It's fine. It happened. But I need to take ownership of that. So once again, just want to say thank you to you guys for supporting me in all this. I'm going to endeavor to try and make the best content that I can, whilst the time of the edgelord needs to come to an end. Okay, like as I said, the content will stay there. If you want to go and look for it, you'll be able to find it. Just look at my playlists. But I don't want to give people that hate me the ammunition they need to crucify me. Don't give your enemies the ammunition they need to damage you. And also, I shouldn't have to say this, but I'm not a Nazi. I did a political spectrum test just on a live stream just before. I'm actually pretty left-leaning. I'm pretty liberal. I do actually consider myself a centrist, not left-wing. I like to think balance in all things. However, my sense of humor does tend to lean towards the right wing of things. But what I actually believe is more along the lines of a centrist ideology. Anyway. That's all I wanted to say in terms of that. I just wanted to let you guys know. I'm sure you guys are sick of these kind of videos. This wasn't about the Blacklist video though, so let's let that one sit for a while and see what happens. But also just to add on top of this, really, really don't know what to expect in terms of this. The only thing I can think of, and this is just a speculation, is that CA did not like where this was going and got the moderators to shut it down. That's my thoughts of possibly what happened, because this got shut down real quick. Now, I don't think there was that much negativity, especially considering what I have seen in the past on Reddit. I have seen a lot of insults been thrown at me in the past through Reddit posts. A lot of people that have been like, legend this, legend that, and the moderators didn't touch it at all. So it does make me a little bit suspicious that it got locked when I would say, 76% upvoted is pretty good. When I told you guys to be positive, not positive, but, be respectful. And those of you who came on here and did post a comment, I applaud you in your respectful attitude. As far as I could tell, most of the, not all, but most of the insulting comments were people who aren't my viewers. And so, like I said, I applaud you on that. Thanks again so much for your continued support. I hope to be around for many, many years to come, providing you with entertaining content. I need to do what I need to do to make sure that happens, and I have to stop doing these juvenile campaigns. I've got to act a little bit more my age. Apologies if that makes some of you upset that you don't have an edgelord in the Total War community anymore. Unfortunately, I just can't justify pretending to be a neo-Nazi, sort of thing, as a joke, because people take that shit out of context and it damages me in the real world. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say, and I'll see you next time, fuckers.